and a few areas of flooding as well. This system's still going to be with us as we head through the remainder of Saturday, but not into Sunday. Sunday, it should eventually begin to clear away towards the east. Elsewhere, though, we'll still have lots of wet weather around. Darwin still not too far away from the remains of our cyclone Carlos, so yet more heavy downpours still to come here. And then this circulation here is another tropical cyclone. This one's Diane. Gradually, it's running its way southwards, but it's going to continue to throw lots of wet weather across Western Australia over the next few days, and there could be some flooding here as well. Now, meanwhile, while all of that is going on around Australia, further east, we've also got a cyclone developing here as well. Now, this one appears to be running its way towards the southeast, so hopefully we'll avoid Fiji. Here it's still going to be very, very wet and pretty windy over the next few days, but hopefully we won't see the eye of that storm hit any of the islands. A little bit further north and for us in China, it's rather wet at the moment and not that warm for Hong Kong either, only getting to 17 degrees.
14 competing teams, 13 different venues, 3 host nations. Cricket is part of the fabric of life here, and this competition is the pinnacle of the one-day game. We'll be bringing you all the action and reaction from India, Sri Lanka and Bangladesh. The Cricket World Cup on Al Jazeera.
An uprising on the streets, showing no sign of relenting. Protesters united in their defiance of the regime. As demonstrations continued for a third week, President Mubarak remained unmoved. But how much longer could he ignore the demands of his people and hold on to power? In a day-by-day account, we look at the events that changed Egypt, from those that witnessed them firsthand. Fall of Mubarak, at this time on Al Jazeera.
Libya's deadly unrest. Witnesses tell Al Jazeera dozens of people have been killed as anti-Gaddafi protesters battled security forces. You're watching Al Jazeera live from Doha. I'm Darine Abu Gaida. Also coming up on the program, new bloodshed in Bahrain as security forces attack protesters, allegedly using live fire. Hundreds of thousands celebrate their revolution across Egypt, and the military says it will not tolerate further strikes. An Arab-sponsored UN resolution branding Israeli settlements illegal is vetoed by the United States. A doctor in eastern Libya has told Al Jazeera that more than 70 people have now been killed in battles between security forces and people opposing the rule of Muammar Gaddafi. Well, the center of the unrest is the country's east, in the region's biggest city, and that's Benghazi. Reports say security forces have fled that city. Also, they've left the surrounding centers of Al-Baida, Shahat, Darna, and Tobruk. Well, it's a very different picture in the capital, Tripoli, where the leader, Muammar Gaddafi, still retains support. There, the streets are quiet for the moment. Al Jazeera's broadcast into the country has now been jammed on several frequencies, and our website has also been blocked. We'll hear more from witnesses in Benghazi after this report from Bernard Smith.
A series of funerals for protesters killed by security forces in Benghazi. 14 people were shot dead on Thursday, according to a privately owned newspaper. The city is the focal point of demonstrations against Libyan leader Muammar Gaddafi. International media access to the country is limited. The outside world is heavily reliant on what Libyans manage to upload on the internet. The funerals were a consequence of these protests in Benghazi 24 hours earlier. Gunshots can be heard crackling through the air as the authorities try to suppress the crowds. Scenes of dissent on this scale are unprecedented in a country Gaddafi has ruled unchallenged for more than 40 years.
What's happening in Benghazi is a big massacre. People are being killed on the streets. People are demonstrating peacefully. They are asking for a decent life, not more than a decent life. There is in front of me, in front of the main court in Benghazi, more than 50,000 people.
While Libya is oil-rich, its eastern parts are more impoverished. WikiLeaks cables from US diplomats suggest that Gaddafi deliberately allows poverty and unemployment to rise here, weakening opponents. By contrast, in the capital Tripoli, Gaddafi appeared at a rally held by supporters. If you hold a country in an iron grip, adoring crowds can be quickly arranged. But analysts say the colonel does enjoy genuine respect in parts of Libya away from the east. And unlike Egypt, Gaddafi has petrodollars to pour over social problems. Bernard Smith, Al Jazeera.
Let's get the view from Benghazi and speak to Nouri Al-Abbad. He's a legal advisor and joins us on the telephone. From what you've heard, what can you tell us about the battles between protesters and security forces that took place today in Benghazi?
Yeah. First of all, I'm grateful for AlJazeera to interrupting this act. So here in Benghazi, since more than sorry,
go ahead.
More than yeah. Did you hear me?
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah. Since yesterday and today, there is more than 100,000 people in front of the court of Benghazi. So they are trying to. There is no security and there is no military. Just only they are killed more than today. Just today, more than 30 people they are killed today.
Okay.
Just only in one hospital.
Okay, so more than 30 people killed is what you're saying. We have heard reports of more than that, but there are some reports that there are some military forces, and in Benghazi seem to include foreign elements from Africa. I'd like to get your take on that. Did you hear or see anything of that sort, that foreign elements from Africa are attacking the protesters?
Actually, I didn't see anybody because all the time I'm staying in the square of the court of Benghazi. But in Beida and there's the foreign military. They are coming and killed from the people. But here in Benghazi. All of the people control Benghazi.
All right. Okay, Nouri Al-Abbad, thank you very much for talking to us there on Al Jazeera. Well, earlier we spoke to Judge Kamal Hudaythi in